Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Simon. Welcome to some very old stuff on Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. We're back to the 2007 routes now, or so, and this is back in the Kuju days that we had these trains. Now, you're going to notice the 8F in the middle here. That does not actually come with route. That's a separate DLC. In fact, I can tell you that's DLC package 24025 if you look it up on Steam database, SteamDB. And it actually comes with a Netherfield route. It is not available by itself any longer, and someone actually told me that it is no longer offered because the scenarios are broken. Yet it's included with the Netherfield route because it's using scenarios on the Netherfield route. So we still get the scenarios, one way or the other, and we will try them at some point. It's probably a case where something just needs to be fixed in them. Because they're standard scenarios, we can fix them. Legally, it's perfectly fine for us to fix them and save them in the game without having to resort to any tricks. So if it's needed to fix any of those, I will look at those in the future. They seem to be a 90, 45, 30-minute scenarios there, as you can see. There's also a whole bunch of other stuff that I've got here. I'm only going to show you what's included right now, but if I scroll up, you'll see that I have some 7823, 7821, the 4F. These are from... These top ones are from Digital Traction, I believe. So I do have those models here. I didn't think I installed the Digital Traction one. That might actually be one from Just Trains now that I think about it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll get back to you on that. I know that Digital Traction has one as well. I just don't know if it has scenarios on this route or not. Might be somewhere else. But the 7F that you see here, Bruised and Battered, Delivery Day, and the Pigeon Special all come with the route. The JTYGB one is one that comes with the Just Trains pack. I do know that because it says JT on it, and that's a 45-minute scenario that comes with that pack. I think that train has scenarios on a number of routes, in fact, not just this one, because it's the only one showing here, unless I'm forgetting one that I didn't see somewhere else. But the 8F, like I said, is DLC. The Black 5 has 5 scenarios here: Meat Market, Running on Empty, Swift and Delightful, the Pea Super, and A Day of Two Halves. And these 5 scenarios all come with the DLC, as do those 3 7F scenarios. And further down, I have a Class 170 and a Class 20 scenario for some reason that ran here. And you know what? If I decide to run diesel here, I will do that with you in the future. But they're not part of the original route, so we're only looking at the original route for right now. That means we're going to go ahead and stick to the Black 5 for right now. You can see I've got highlighted Running on Empty. Drive the Black 5 to Evercreech Junction to deliver some wagons, refueling on the way before you run out of water. We're going to do a little bit of a longer one today because I am introducing the route for the first time. Makes sense, right? Let's get started. Standard scenarios, there shouldn't be any problems unless I see a timetable issue along the way. But we'll look at that as we get going. Good afternoon. I'm afraid water's getting really low. We can just about make it to Evercreech as long as we don't get delayed and you go easy on that regulator. Good luck. Yeah, we're going to need it for this one. I actually had a failure because the auto fireman doesn't have brains. That's the best way to put it. Let's get on our train here and you'll see what I mean as we get going. Let's put the regulator on so we can get ourselves moving. So we're going to just go ahead at our starting speed limit of 50 miles per hour and try to get ourselves up as fast as we can to a speed that we like. You're going to notice I'm actually trying to manage my water carefully by pulling the regulator down a little earlier than I probably should. So I'm not getting to quite the speed I want to, but I'm going to have to do it to save water. We're going to see if I can pull this off. So as you see, we have only 400 gallons of water. If that number ever gets down to 0, you game over. The problem is that the auto fireman doesn't have a brain, and he will empty every last drop of water into that bucket and give you that game over if you don't do things the way he likes. So, in order to satisfy his need to be fully hydrated, we can get a game over and have our entire scenario fail. So, needless to say, this is a bit of a challenge to not waste your water and take advantage of the opportunity to gain speed where you can. Know where you can drop some... you need to know where you can not use that regulator to conserve some water as well. The main thing is once we get to Evercreech Junction, which I did manage on the first trip, I didn't get to the water point before the waterman decided to drain my water completely. So you can get there. At that point, you don't need to drain any more water into your tank. You're about to fill up. But the auto fireman gave me a game over by literally dropping all the water into the tank and saying, "You're out of water, you lose." So auto fireman actually hurts you in this scenario if you're not careful. If you have your water down to 80%, you need to get to that water point fast if you're on your last puff of water, because when you get to 75% or somewhere in the 70s, the auto fireman will automatically try to fill the tank. So, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. He doesn't conserve anything. You'll see what I mean as we get going. So right now I'm at 32 miles per hour and dropping. Right now the auto fireman is happy because he still has 84% of his water in the actual chamber. But it's not going to be long before he starts tapping into that. We have a 15-16 mile journey or so. We're going to be relying on some downhill to get where we need to go fast. I may even have to rely on speeding a bit. We'll see. We'll see. So a quick look at the route just so you know what Somerset and Dorset looks like in the future. You can see where we are. We're going to that part of the route right there along the route. At the south end of the route we have Temple Cove Upper. If we go to the other end of the route, you're going to notice that we have Bath Green Park. The area in between is Somerset and Dorset line. Say hello. Hello. That's the whole line. So we have a number of stations along the way. We're going to be seeing a few of them as we go. We are located right here, which means we're coming up on our first station, which is Midsummer or something like that. I know Chilcompton is the next one right here. We're going to be continuing on to Binegar at that point. So those are the first three stations. I'll go ahead and I will note the other ones. Actually, let's look at this one too. Masbury. So those are the first four stations. We're going to have a couple other ones along the way to Evercreech. I'm probably not going to check them out for all of them. We're just going to go ahead and look at, or I'll add subtitle text to provide information where needed. Now, part of the reason I think I was having trouble with water in the last scenario was for a really silly, stupid reason. I proceeded to keep the brakes on when I was trying to get to the transfer point, which meant I was using a lot more water in those last moments. If I had not done that, and I had just used the little puff of water and turned it off right away, with the brakes not applying, I would have been fine. I would have made it. So I think I can make it this time. But you see if the auto fireman has turned the water on. I cannot turn that off. He's keeping that on until he's happy. So the auto fireman, if you do things wrong, you will get a game over just from the fireman doing his job. So he's going to drop that water down to about 295 gallons or so, I believe. Now, I've already had a better first section because the narrowing my regulator very quickly actually I think saved me some water on that first stretch. So I'm actually having a better run this time, I think, than the first run. This should improve my odds of surviving this run. What I'm waiting for is for that downhill segment to begin. That downhill segment is where I'm going to turn the regulator right off. I'm going to take the brake right off, of course, because I don't want to brake at all while I'm doing this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put more power on. I can use water. And by doing things that way, I should be able to get 8 miles down to Evercreech Junction without too much effort. So as long as I have a good amount of water left to take at that point, I should make it safely. As soon as I get that water down to 71, 72% on that last stretch, the auto fireman will turn the water in to empty it into the pump, and you can say you get a game over when that happens. Because you're going to be on your your last puff of water when you get to Evercreech Junction. I don't think you can make it without using 3 puffs here. He's actually used more water on this stretch than he did on the previous stretch, so I'm actually very, very concerned right now. I might get a game over before I even get to Evercreech Junction. This is very, very concerning to me. The good news is I'm 1/4 of the way into my journey, so hopefully he only has to use 1 more puff. He's already up to 90%, so hopefully he only has to use 1 more puff, and that will hopefully get me into the downhill. He doesn't need to use any more water, because if he has to use a lot more water, I'm doomed. If he starts using that water, I have to refill quickly. So the signals are green all the way here. This is Chilcompton. If you remember those 4 stations I looked at on the map, that's the second one we saw there. I'm getting some good speed this time. I'm actually happy with the way the train is performing. I just have to hope the water holds up for me. Take a look at the other view. Take a look around over there. We got a bit of a view back there. I didn't get to show you what a Railworks Days Vista looked like. But we do have the rolling hills in the Somerset area here. Water down to 80%. Okay. You're gonna test me. Already down to 264 gallons. We're gonna have a bit of a straightish section here. I might actually turn the regulator right off and see if I can conserve a few dips here. Is that a vehicle up there? Okay, it was doing some weird bouncing. It was moving like, oh, it's in the air. Okay. Okay, let's pull this down for a moment and see if I can control my speed where I am right now. I will have to reapply it, but I want to try and conserve some water before he tries to take more water from me. We're still about 2 miles away from the downhill. I have to make it to that. Okay, uphill has to begin now, so full power again. So at this point, the auto fireman's gonna take some more water from me. I have no choice. He's gonna do what he does. Game over, be damned. He's going to probably turn the water on about now. There it is. 70% is the trigger value. 70%. To try to conserve some water, I'm going to try to lower my regulator here. I'm going to have to risk some loss on my uphill to see if I can conserve some water in the tank right now. The power of the hill, the gradient on the hill is good enough that I can do this right now. In fact, I'm tempted to take it right off. Yeah, I'm going to take it off all the way, actually. So hopefully the auto fireman stops draining water in the tank soon. They just have to go a little bit further to get to the uphill section, to the downhill section. I'm going to try and go down to 20 miles per hour before I put the regulator back on. At that point I will need it. Because there is another bit of a strong uphill there. This is where the maintenance part of the challenge comes in. You have to try to maintain as much water as you can. If I can get him to stop draining water before 150, that will be my goal accomplished. There it is. I'll put the regulator on now to get some speed back so I can get to the uphill quickly. I probably should have reserved just a little bit more there, but I will deal with it. That was Binegar Station that we're passing. Okay, let's take it back off to conserve a little water. I got some speed back. Let's conserve some water now. I wanted a little speed back for the uphill. That was the objective. We're on a strong uphill now, so more water on. I'm putting less than full power right now to see if I can manage enough uphill power before we get to the downhill. See if I get enough uphill power at this. I think I will be good enough keeping my regulator at less than max right now. I think I can make this. So like I said, this whole challenge is about maintaining the proper amount of water, and when the auto fireman comes on, unless you do it yourself, then you have full control. You can keep that 1 gallon in there. But when the auto fireman comes on, you need to try to turn your throttle off, your regulator off, so he takes less water. Because as you continue to use the regulator, he will take more and more water out to replace what you are currently using. This is why you have to be very, very careful. If you can get to this downhill without him doing the third dip, and you have this much left, you're probably in very good shape, because there's not any more uphill up until Evercreech Junction once you get this downhill. A very small patch, but I think you have to go down to 30 before one of these patches as well. I could be mistaken. Or maybe I'm thinking there's a patch of 25 that you have to slow down for, and there's an uphill right before that as well. So there's a bit of a challenge in that, but if I can get to the top of this hill and I'm still above 75%, I can take the downhill, and I can even force them to refill before I actually use my regulator again. If I decide I want to force them to refill, I can make them do that, so I make sure I have water left. But right now at 81%, 80%, I'm getting close to the top of the hill, so I'm going to lower my regulator even more just to make sure I don't have that third dip for the water. I can go really slow cresting this hill. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to gain lots of speed on the downhill. There's no time limit to this. So I can do this however I want to do it. On my first run, I did just keep the regulator at 100% all the way through the hills. And again, I could have made it if I didn't screw up at Evercreech Junction. I could have made it. I just kept the brake applied against my throttle. Okay, we're going fast now, so let's go ahead and take that regulator right off. We are now on the downhill. You can see up ahead the gradient has shifted to downhill. 1 in 50 gradient. There will be a drop in the speed limit up ahead that we have to contend with, but other than that, we should not have any more problems. Our regulator is at 73%. If we want to, we could force our firemen to refill right now. I'm not going to do that, because I think in the space that we're covering, we're going to need to we're going to just automatically use a wee bit of water. And as we get to Evercreech Junction, I can go ahead and put on a tiny bit of regulator just to make sure that he is forced to refill. At which point I can turn my regulator back off again as he refills. That way he doesn't take too much. You'll notice on the second fill, he took less than 100 gallons to get from 70 to 90. So my goal is to not have the regulator on as he refills. He's 72% now. But the longer I can go now without having to turn that, to have him refill, the longer I can go now, the better chance I have of succeeding at Evercreech Junction. So I have a 6% brake, or rather a 6.82 inches HG brake right now. I'm trying to get my speed down to 30 miles per hour. Once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put on about a 14 HG brake, and that should maintain me very close to what I need to be at. I'm going to take a little bit off of the brake, in fact, now, because I'm going down a little faster than I wanted to. Getting down to 14 now. I'm at a 15.1, that's fine. I'm actually gaining speed, so put a little back on. I'm losing again. Okay. We're fine-tuning it. I think we're in the zone. I did say 14. 14 and a half. Slight gain, so I'm trying to put a tiny burst of brake on. That should hopefully do it. I'm at exactly 30 miles per hour. And I'm holding nicely. Okay, 30.1. I'll take it. I can take that. .2, I can take that. That's fine. The auto fireman has still not turned on his water sealing. He should soon. We're at 70%. He should seal soon. I might force him to do that because I think... I'm wondering if we are on a downhill whether he actually doesn't refill. This could mean that he takes more water than I want him to at Evercreech. I may need to turn the regulator on to force him to refill it. I'm going to do it. In a moment. I need more brakes right now because I'm about to speed. Okay, he's taking water. We're good. We're good. He takes it at the bottom of 70%, even if we're on a downhill. My regulator is not on. I'm not turning my regulator on. Brakes are coming off, and we're good. Back out the window. Let's look in the center of the track this time. Okay, my water is doing good. This is the kind of scenario that will make you panic. Sky change. I might have the AP sky on this route. I think I do, especially because the skybox has changed on me there in some weird way. Fire door has been closed, is what I'm trying to say. He stopped taking water. Oh, I like this. I have another dip. I might have enough for another dip. That is absolutely ideal. So there's how you conserve your water. You make sure you have that regulator off when you when he's taking water, unless you're on a massive uphill, then you have no choice. But if you want to conserve water, that's one way to try to conserve water. Just let the train motion do the work. We're getting up to 57. We're going onto an uphill, so we're going to lose a little bit of speed now. We'll be back on a downhill after that. We're now at 87% water, so there's still water being lost somewhere. I don't know where. I'm not using any water. I don't know why the water is going down. There's some sidings and a shed over there on the right side. Now the percentage went down to 86 and back up to 87, so I seem to be bouncing some water back in somehow. I don't know how I'm doing that. Almost like the downhill is sloshing some wagon in, some water in, some wagon. Yeah, sloshing some water in. But now I'm suddenly down to 84%. This is starting to make me a little more nervous again. I have less than 4 miles to go. I should be okay, but the water is going down unnaturally fast. This is concerning me. I am, however, gaining speed again. Why am I losing water? Okay, reverser off. I shouldn't need it. That might have done the trick. I'm staying at 83%. I guess you might have to put the reverser down to 0. I might speed here. I didn't slow down in time, so I'm trying to put a heavy brake on right now. The brakes still work, thankfully, but now I'm down to 82% water. So yeah, it's still taking water. Let's hold the, no, don't increase. I want to hold it. There we go. So that 25 means Evercreech Junction is ahead. We did pass Evercreech New back there as well. Well, they actually might be coming right now. Maybe we're not passing yet. I might have just, either I missed it or we didn't pass it. Down to 81%. If my fireman decides he wants to take water, I might have to sit still while he does a fill so that he stops filling so I can go get my water tank refill. At least I might have enough for the 4th dip. It's possible I have enough for a 4th dip. Some very careful maintenance on the uphills there led me to a situation where I'm actually much better off than I was before. Take the brakes right off because I'm going to coast in at this point. This is Evercreech New. This is the station I thought we already passed. I might have to put the brakes back on. I'm not sure. This is still a strong downhill. Yeah, brakes back on. That will do. That'll do nicely, thank you. 80% water. Still a good number right now. We're 1 1/4 miles from Evercreech Junction. My coal and fire is at 67%. I don't care about that. I have 8 cold tons of coal. I don't care about that. I'm just keeping an eye on that water number right now. Keep in mind, in the old days, we didn't have numbers like this to look at. We're lucky to have this. Oh, by the way, if you want to, you can also hide this HUD and use the F5 up there in the corner. I think it actually showed up on one of my screenshots at the end of the scenario by accident. I had to turn it off. We can actually look at the numbers up there as well and see the 220 PSI, the regulator is at 0, the reverser is at 0, and so on and so forth. The speed is there. Another hit will show you the steam generation rate, the usage rate, what the cocks are doing, the ejector, and so on and so forth. So all that data is there, but you cannot have that up at the same time as this HUD. If this HUD is up, you do not get to use that. Only one can be up at a time. So I've taken the brake back off. I've gone down to 79% on my water. I should still be okay, is what I said last time. As long as I don't goof up and keep the brake applied while I try to go forward, I should be okay this time. But even so, like I said, I have enough for a 4th dip if my fireman decides he needs to for some stupid reason. I don't know why he would do that, but he does. And if that happens, I should make it. As long as I don't use the regulator at the moment he's refilling, that should leave some water in the tank. As long as 1 gallon stays in there, I am happy. We're going to apply a little bit of brake now. Start bringing this speed down a little bit. We are hitting it downhill as we enter the station, which is why I'm putting that brake on now. Now we need a heavier brake because I have to counteract the downhill. And it's coming off nicely now. Somewhere between 5 and 10, I will pull the brakes back off completely. I need to get it low enough that I can try not to use too much water on. I'm not sure if water is used on the brakes or not. But I need to try to get the brakes off as soon as I can so I can just coast in. This will do. Get them off. You can see very clearly the sign there for Evercreech Junction. I'm now coasting in very, very slowly. We do have to stop here. And after our regular train inspection, I'll show you the step that we have to do to uncouple the wagons. We're fully in the station, so I want the train to stop now. There it is, perfect. I'm going to start removing some of the brake. That'll do for now. We'll go ahead and take a look at our train very quickly. We should be okay now. Uncouple your wagons and refill from the water tank on the upline. Make sure you remove your brake completely at this point. Then we're going to take the lower left. If you get the other HUD up, it's the lower right. And then we're going to go all the way to the other end where the engine is. We're going to hit that. And everybody's gone. Well done. Proceed to your next eject. Wow, that's just normal shenanigans goal. Hey, look at that. Moving without even applying throttle. I like that. Let's put the regulator up just so I can get a little bit of power here. I'm going to go ahead and leave it low because I'm only putting a very small toot and right back off. I have 0 brakes applied right now, so I should move forward ever so slightly. I want to get beyond this junction. You know what? I'll give it one more quick toot. Just to hurry things along here. Let's go back to the regular view, by the way. So I imagine if we get to the next signal, we will get a red. Because we can't go into that section. In fact, if I look ahead, Oh, no, it's up. Oh, well, who cares? So where are we on the... Oh, we're almost past it. Brakes. Brakes, please. I should not be going 9. That's too fast. Yeah, all the way down. All the way down. Okay, tooting the other way. Ah, we're on a downhill. That's why it cost me some power. Okay. Let's get to the water tank as quick as we can. We're going to go ahead and keep an eye on the reverse of the train here as we cross the little area in the middle. Once we have our water, everything is good and dandy. We're at 73%. I am worried that the fireman is going to try to dip soon, but it's usually around 70%. I'm at 72 right now. I have a little bit of time in the event he does start dipping, where before it gets to 0, where I can still line up with the watering thing. And I'm gonna have to risk it. So I'm going to go ahead and detach. Let's go ahead and take a look over at the watering area, which is where? Right here. Which means I need to stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, stop. Am I good enough? No, I need to go forward apparently a little bit. Okay. Go forward just a wee bit, please. I need to get this lined up accurately. Good enough? Yes! We have our water. We are getting a shower right now. Ah. We are getting a shower. Yes. Well over that 400 gallons. That nasty 400 gallons we started this scenario with. We are well over that now. Proceeding higher and higher to 1,200 luxurious gallons. Now 1,400 luxurious gallons. Now up to 16, 17, 18. And continuing. We have been sufficiently watered. We no longer need to fear running out of steam. Now up to 2,800 gallons. Yeah, we have enough now. Can we just go, please? I think it takes 3,600 if I remember correctly. I believe that's the number of gallons you have to work with. Oh, more than that. Sorry, it might be 4,000. It's a heck of a watering, that's for sure. Yes, 4,000. Okay. The edge is now filled with water. Reverse back, couple up with wagons again, and we can drop them off. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to go forward again. We're going to cross the junction where we were before. Notice the other track now has the red signal because we are the ones in control of that section right now. Yep, the fireman is now dipping in at the perfect time. That's exactly what I wanted to see. We're just going to give a little toot to about 4 miles per hour and then turn it off. I mean, I don't have to conserve anymore, but why take a chance, right? Why go faster than you need to? You could have other problems. So if you have control over that yourself, you can manage that yourself, and you're going to be able to keep that 1 gallon in there, no problem. But if you have the automatic fireman on like you do, you're on a time limit. far enough now, shouldn't it? No, it's not far enough. Okay. Well, we're on a downhill, so we're going to go ahead and just let the train go forward a little bit. And for those of you keeping score at home, the fireman took 76 gallons of water, and by taking 76 gallons of water, he actually left enough water, even if I did need another dip. So I did have enough for 4 dips in that circumstance, just by chance. So it worked out very nicely. I had my management going very well on that scenario, it looks like. There, just that little tiny inch forward I needed to go. We're going to reverse now. My goal now is to not go all the way into the wagons at a fast enough speed that I destroy them. That is the only thing I have to do now. So very, very light toots. Please no laughter. Five is good enough for now. I can use whatever I need to now for this purpose. I'm gonna need more. These poor cars having to watch all this. I hope they're enjoying the show. Just say hello. Thank you for your patience. So as soon as we couple to our cars, we just have to come to a full stop. We're done. Oh wait, that's at Cole. We stop at Cole. So we're going to couple to the cars. We're not going to stop here. We're just going to couple and go forward. This explains why the signal was up ahead. We actually are going that way. And notice the signal went up for us on the other side now. There it is. Forward to Cole, we got 3 miles to go. Well done now. Park the Black 5 up for the night at Cole Station, then you can call it a day. Copy that. Back in the cab. Actually, I'll stick my head out the window again. So, leaving Evercreech Junction, we will stop at Cole. Onwards to Cole. And I don't care about management of water anymore. I've done my duty for that. Funny thing is, because of my, what apparently was epic water management, I could probably made it to Cole without needing additional water fill. But there probably are not water facilities at Cole, so... Plus this also is your tutorial on how to fill the water in the cement, so... No, you know what, on second thought, no, I wouldn't need the water. I very possibly need the water. There's an uphill up ahead. Yeah, I needed the water. It was necessary. Nonetheless, in the proper conservance of water, I have pulled my regulator off a little bit here. If there's no time limit, I don't need to use all that water so quickly. If there's a time limit, yeah, I'm blowing it. Limit up ahead. Just conveniently, I'm not above that yet, so that actually worked out perfectly. Cole will be about 3/4 of a mile beyond that sign, I believe. So as the 45 gets to our end, we should see coal come in the distance. Actually, I take that back because we just zoomed out, so yeah, we got an earlier shot of it. We have to slow down anyway because we're now above the speed limit that's coming up. Plus, we're stopping anyway. And I need to take the regulator off. Don't forget that. Yeah, we're watering again, so yeah, the water is coming out of the tank, and we would have been out of water at this point. We would have been out of water at about 96 there. And that would have been a game over. So yeah, we needed the water at Evercreech. I'm sure there are pro players out there who are like, "Fool! You could have made it!" But let's just remember, it was our task list. We had to do it. Taking it back up to 25, so slow down a little too slow for my liking. There is another 70 up ahead, but obviously we're not going to be able to go up to that. As we hit that 70, we're going to be slowing down anyway. Even if we were at 45. Now the distance signal does say we are clear into coal. That's the only signal left before coal coming up. And we have the distance signal saying it is raised. We may have a red beyond that though because our path obviously up ahead will be stopped. We're not going any further for the night. Back in the old days, I don't think steam engines had headlights. So trains didn't really run at night. So if you want to drive your car, you could have done it at night. There weren't a lot of trains. Okay, now I'm coming down too slow. So let's put some power back on for a moment. I didn't even have any brakes on. Okay, now we're going to start slowing down. Let's see if it will go down on its own this time. Of course it isn't. Of course not. Okay, I'm going to have to encourage you now, aren't I? Well, fussy you are today. There we go. That's the pace I want to see it slowing down. Perfect. Just a little bit more off there and a little more. Okay, that's enough braking now. You're going too slow now. Thank you. I can stop anywhere in coal, by the way. And is the signal up ahead? It is up ahead. I can go beyond if I need to. That's fine. So there's all my freight coming into coal. And there's the inside of the cab one more time. So let's go ahead and make sure we stay on the platform. I'm at 3 right now, so I'm going to take the brakes off and just keep going for a moment. I'm going to go to the end of the platform and then bring it to a stop. A quick look at the station layout here at Cole. You see we have a couple sidings over there as well, plus the main track that we are on. So someone else is probably going to take the train, move it forward, and park it in the sign. That's why the signal is probably green up ahead. I mean, we know it's a programming thing, but we'll just act like there's a story to it. Stop now. That'll do. Let's look at our train. And lo, the crisis was averted, and the train was dispatched to Cole for its evening storage. You can see the yards over on the right of the screen there. There's something in there. Don't know what it is, but well done. You managed to drive the Black 5 on empty. Well, not quite. And refueled in time to complete the scenario. Yes, I did. That took me 2 tries. Can you do it first try? Good luck if you want to do it. Other than that, there's nothing else to really talk about. There's no score involved. So I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. If you never ever speak your part of the world, like to subscribe to the channel. We'll do another scenario tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm Cyclone. See you for that. Hit the bell and know when I post it. See you next time. Bye-bye.